Welcome to Apex Esports League. I'm JT, and we're on Project Cars 2 tonight for round 3 of the Pagnian Imports V8 Supercar Championship. In tonight's round, we have Long Beach Street Circuit, and the main race will be under light, so it's going to be a spectacular round tonight. So the session tonight, we'll be seeing 15 minutes of practice, weather is light cloud. Qualifying is 15 minutes, weather is also light cloud. And then sprint race is 14 laps, weather is light cloud. There's no mandatory pit. Then we'll have a short break and head into session 2. And then qualifying is 15 minutes, weather is clear. And the game session time will start at 6 p.m. And then the main race is 28 laps, weather is also clear, and that starts at 7 p.m. So we're seeing darkness come on for the qualifying and main race. And of course, a mandatory pit requirement for that race. And then the previous round, we had standings after round 2. We saw Sami still maintain the championship lead after having 2 consecutive clean sweeps. So he's now leading with 500 points. Philly Manili a little bit behind with 382 points. And then Gallon 350 and DK Rush very close, sitting on 334 and 330. Previous round, we're at Rupunya Park GP for the sprint race. Sami taking the clean sweep, getting all points for qualifying, victory and fastest lap, and then the same again in the main race, so having a spectacular round yet again. Over to the USA for Long Beach Street Circuit. The track length is 3.86 kilometers and there's 11 turns. It's a very technical track. It is still rather quick, and it is very unforgiving. There is walls everywhere. We do have a couple of drivers able to make it back into the session we haven't seen for a while. We were unable to make the last couple of rounds, managing to jump in. So welcome aboard. And also Rooney 9915 making into tonight's session. We are missing Dan, PS Man, Balaki and Steph. And Balaki just jumping on the chat. He did actually arrive late, but do stay on the standby in case there's a disconnect. You can jump in and make it into the session. If you are just joining us for the stream, don't forget to hit that follow button. We do go live with Project Cars 2 Championships on Thursday nights, 7:30 p.m. Australian Eastern Daylight Time. And then we also have more racing on Monday nights with live racing. That's the same time, 7:30 p.m. And there's plenty of V8 action to watch with that, as it is the Super 2 series. And round 4 does start this Monday night. We're actually at Chicago Street Circuit. So it'll be great to see the Commodores and Falcons battling it out around Chicago. But tonight it's just the FG Falcons doing battle around Long Beach. I believe there's been a fair few quick times being done in the practices. I actually haven't been able to practice in any of those sessions with them. Haven't seen how they've been up to pace. T-Rex. And T-Rex cheering himself on from the stream whilst in pit lane. Well done. We've got the full 16 drivers for the session. It's going to be very tight, especially over the course of the sprint race. With only 14 laps, it's going to be very tight. We should start to see first time laps coming up on the board. Camera taking a fair while to catch up to Sami. Sami being our championship leader, being on a perfect 500 points. Can he make tonight's round another consecutive clean sweep? He's had an absolutely outstanding series. Here comes first times. Phil Manili setting a 116. That is a very quick time. Expecting we'll possibly see some mid to high 115s in the qualifying. For Philly's first time lap on 116.260. Straight off the mark is very quick indeed. Can he keep that pace up? Oh, Gallon scrapes that wall. And with the wall tracks, it will invalidate their times after a couple of minor scrapes. Any solid hits. Actually, might be a little bit of lag that's showing for Gallon. He was skipping a little bit before. Corby in with a 117. A little bit of traffic, free one. I think that was just coming out of the fountain as well. That's quite the place to be free wide. Oh, it's showing a little bit of damage. I think that may be lag damage though. A little bit of a buckled bonnet. He might have taken a little bit of damage as he went around the fountain when we saw them get free wide. Billy smashes in 115.3. That is very quick. He's on absolute fire. Sami's going to be really having to fight for a win tonight if we're going to be seeing some massive pace from Philly like this. He's doing super quick in the first two rounds of the Pagnian Imports V8 Supercar Championship. Rennie's just cut corner somewhere, so it's actually invalidated his current lap. And T-Rex out on track now. It's in his first time lap. That's a 1:18.051. With Philly sitting in second for the championship. He's got about 118 points to catch Sami. So he's going to have some very strong rounds for the next couple of rounds. Ready to get into the final where the big points are. And then finish it off at Bathurst. It'll be a pretty probably set victory if we get a clean sweep from the Sami tonight. It'll probably just be a arrive and drive for rounds 4 and 5 to secure victory. But if that streak can be broken, and it can easily be done at Long Beach, even the quickest drivers here, one tiny little mistake will see them putting it into the wall, and they will be done for and seeing some costly time spent in the pits. So we do tend to see a little bit of movement around the standings board when it comes to these wall tracks. Damien having some very strong pace as well. We've got the first 4 drivers in with 115s. Corby also landing at 115.352. Less than a tenth away from Philly's time. Less than half a second. It's only 4 tenths. Is Mick Cliff. Looking pretty well beat up, so he had a pretty good smash probably at the end of that lap. Damien only just off half a second. It's quite interesting that the pit exit line for this track, the game does actually allow you to cross on the racing line, across the blue line for the pit exit lane, which you can actually get a lot of extra speed by going for that tiny little bit of an advantage. Where lands a 116 also. Marky Mark's in the 116s. T-Rex in with 117. That's not T-Rex's car. Here he comes. Make sure we've covered. We've got Cool Boy. He's putting down some 1:16, 6:7, 6:4. As you can see here, crossing that blue line, that's going to cause potential incidents once it comes to the pit stops. As drivers do actually have to stay on that line, will actually stay on board. If Cool Boys, he comes out of pit lane, he can actually be made aware of this long pit lane exit. I'm not sure what's going on with him here. Just wonder if he's going to drive off. Down board just for the pit lane exit. You can see where the drivers are actually crossing over. It doesn't actually penalise the drivers for crossing the line. However, if they do cross the blue line whilst exiting the pits, they will actually be penalised, a grid place penalty. They have to come out right at the end of this yellow and blue line and then turn in, and it's very hard to judge with the perspective. And when we saw our drivers taking that line when there is traffic coming out there and they're going down there at a few hundred k's an hour, that's going to be very dangerous and spell potential incident. And we have seen it many times before. And if you're joining us for the stream, don't forget to jump into the chat, say hello, say who you're cheering on for. We've got Nightmare cheering on Philly Manili. And T-Rex cheering on himself, so well done, T-Rex. We've even got a spam bot in the chat too, so that's wonderful. I hope they're enjoying watching the race. Might jump on board with Corby for a lap around. Probably just jinxed him. Probably been at this lap will bring him. He's only got 2.9 litres of fuel. You can see a little bit of issues as he moves over onto that line as traffic was coming out. A little bit of lag coming through turn one. Very tricky around the fountain. Watching that exit point. A little bit of wall contact, not too bad. And again, it's probably, I think that's lag that's doing it. But curb to curb. Really pushing that car right out to the sides. Malarkey cheering on Gallant. A lot of lag for Corby. This is showing the best lines. He seems to be moving about a bit. And cut a fair bit of corner here to try and really push that car out to that exit warp. Oh, he's 0.326 off his best pace. This will take the fastest lap of the practice session. Oh, he's done it. I think it's... He may have seen actual yellow flag. There was a turned around car. He's only 0.052 away from Philly's time. And then right up to that last moment, he was set for these free temps quicker than that time. We would have seen a 1:14 being done in the practice session. That's phenomenal. These guys are going absolutely flat out. As you can see, a fair bit of damage shown on a lot of the cars. There's been a lot of wall contact. All it takes is for one of the front drivers at the start of the race to put it in the wall, and it could be race ending for many. We could definitely see some qualifying strategies being put into place to try and avoid that turn one cluster. And especially on Long Beach, you don't really want to be racing too hard on the first couple of laps. Trying to find that track position very early on is probably going to end in disaster. We'll make sure we've covered all the cars. Not sure if we've jumped on with DK. DK is fourth in the championship. He's got 330 points. He's only 4 points behind Gallen 350. His closest competitors are Philly and Gallen. Probably not too far behind him. 12 points away. And there's 25 points up for grabs for the pole position in each of the qualifying sessions. Ahead Farmer with Costover and also Simo Simzel. We're only seeing 7.6 seconds separating the 16 cars. That is pretty tight. We've got Dirty Monkey back after not being able to make it back in last week. He did join us for the stream and cheered on his fellow drivers. Dirty doing exceptionally well on the controller. Getting this car around Long Beach is a very tricky thing to do, let alone from a controller. And he's landing 1 minute 18. That's a very quick time. He's only 2.7 seconds away from Philly's phenomenal 1:15. Doggy Daddy setting a 1:22.881. We have our first 7 drivers in with the 1:15 bracket. So P1 to 10 is only 1.1 seconds away. There is nothing in it. Tiniest of a shaving on a lap around there is going to move them up the board quite substantially when they are that closely knit. Over the course of a sprint race with 14 laps, it's going to be a very tight battle all the way straight through. Marking that crosses the line just in time. He might be able to get another lap in. Billy's just brought the car into the pits. Still holds the quickest time. A bit slippery for Corby. This will be his last lap. Pulled up a little bit on that corner exit. Doesn't improve that time, but I did think he invalidated that lap. A few drivers still out on the track. Just under a minute left to get final laps done. Then we head over into 15 minutes of qualifying. A bit slippery for Gallen. Oh, it's coming up to some traffic. I'm not sure if that's Head Farmer or Marky Mark. That's Head Farmer, side by side. Down pit straight. Cool Boy has done a 1:16.2. Does he improve it? And then we have having practice complete. Philly Manili showing the quickest pace with a 1:15.3 over our first 10 drivers. They're only separated by 1.1 seconds. It's only 1.5 to T-Rex, and then with only 7.5 seconds separating the entire field for the practice, it's going to be a super exciting qualifying. So over to 15 minutes of qualifying now. Could we potentially see a 1:14 be done? It is a very long pit lane. Whereas first to get out on track. Yeah, Velaki, you're not there to do any practice or qualifying burnouts for us. Hopefully Gallen will jump out and do some for us. It's been good seeing a couple of tandem donuts being done with yourself and Gallen. Might even jump on board for a hot lap around Long Beach with We're Up. You can see that final corner. Incredibly difficult to navigate. Let's stick down, pit straight. Bit of traffic. It looks like it's DK Rush just up ahead. Party line through the fountain, just minorly missing that wall. DK moves out of the way. It's an out lap for DK. It's a timed lap here for Wirra to be his first time lap. He'll be the first driver to put a time on the board. On the braking marker, be careful not to lock up and slide that tail out here. Very cautious on the throttle out. On the brake and then let the car roll through that corner. Straight down through the back straight. On the brakes around the 300 metre mark. You can throw the car around a little bit, hit those curves, slide the tail through, and then you got to get the car straight, ready to turn for this hairpin. Very cautious that it will spool up quite heavily on acceleration coming out of there. It's going to be a pretty tidy lap. That's a 1:14.653. That's a very quick opening lap. More opening times coming through. Philly setting a 1:15.922. Bobby in the 1:16s. Coolboy in the 1:17s. In-game session time has progressed by an hour. Weather conditions still remain as light cloud cover, meaning track temperatures will have gone up. A little bit slippery for Philly. He gets caught up behind, I think that may be T-Rex. Where is that? Doggy Daddy's car. It's Doggy Daddy. Cool boy. Oh, right up behind. I don't know if they both just took some more damage there. Cool boy potentially may have might be lag. We did see a fair bit of lag going on for Cool Boy last week, causing some dramas for him. He has said he's rectified his network issues. It's definitely looking the case. We did actually see a lag rollover with his car. Where there was no other cars around. We've seen it in previous rounds as well. There's been some significant lag going on. DK just narrowly avoids that tyre wall, missing it by only an inch. When you do join us for the stream, there is a bunch of sound effects controls down underneath, so you can play all sorts of sound effects, some cheers, applauds, boos, other fun sounds as the race progresses, so do make it your own, have some fun with it. He's qualified in second place with a 1:15.879, full 1.2 seconds away from Wirra's pole setting time, 1:14.653. Oh, and Sami's even just been bumped down by DK Rush. This could potentially be the streak breaker. Sami can secure pole for this session. Can try and continue his streak. The pace that we're seeing from the drivers is probably a very good opportunity to have that streak broken tonight. Mick Cliff smashes it in with a 1:15.356. Gallen also getting in with the 1:15s again. One driver to get time on the board. That's Marky Mark. Looks like he's coming through sector 3 now. He should be seeing his first timed lap. Oh no, this is going to cost him. It would have invalidated it and the next lap as well. As the last couple of corners, the game will invalidate that. only giving him 8.5 minutes. About to get that on the speeding in the pits just cost him a grid place penalty. A little bit of frustration for Marky Mark after bidding it on that very last sector for a timed lap. Then to also cop that grid place penalty. He did get a very strong practice time. Hopefully he can get a good run out there for these next couple of laps and then place himself nice and high. Oh, and look at Sami, he's definitely fighting for that streak. He's landed 1:14.580. Only 0.073 ahead of Wirra's time. Sami parking that car up, waiting for some traffic to make its way through. He's not going to let that streak get away from him too easily by the looks of things. He's not going to have to take much off to steal that pole away though. And Cliff qualifying in third position. Have two drivers in the 1:14 bracket. And our next 5 in the 1:15s. Number 4 in the 1:16s. There's 5.3 seconds separating the field at the moment. Well, 7.5 seconds. Doggy Daddy was spending, I think, 1:22 was in the practice time. He's now reined that down into 1:19, it's only 4.6 seconds away. And ultimately, 1:17, 1:18 is still very, very quick race pace. So seeing those times being beaten by a few seconds is just phenomenal. 1:19 is not slow by any means whatsoever. This race will... Oh no, Marky Mark's back in the pits again, having some issues. He's only got about 5.5 minutes to get a qualifying lap in. Hopefully, no further frustration copping him any further grid place penalties. It's only just the one place. Sami still hanging on to that 1:14.5. And it seems doing a 1:18.298. Very good time. He's press that lap, he's bringing that car in. We've got 1.7 seconds away from the pole time for T-Rex, and he's currently qualifying in 11th. He's very tight. 16 cars out there, it's going to be very awkward to try and get some perfect timing for a lap. You could easily be caught up and slowed up by some traffic. Or could go the opposite way if you happen to catch up to a slightly quicker driver, get it stuck into that toe and shave a little bit off your time. We see another driver get into the 1:14s. Gallons snuck in to third position, bumping Mick down now into fourth, and not a whole lot in it. A 15.305 and a 15.356, that is super close. He's moving over to let some traffic through since that's now an out lap. Dirty Monkey showing him out, showing the controller, just setting 1:17. Effects currently qualifying in 7th position. Just over 3 minutes remaining for qualifying. He's parked up in the pits. He's taken pole with a 1:14.580. There is only 0.073 away from that. Oh, it's a little bit of a slide, but doesn't make any wall contact. Oh, he does in the end. That's frustrating for him. He'll have enough time to quickly get the car back out and cross the line. He should get another lap in. And there we go, Marky Mark's got time on the board. He's qualified in 13th, but he does have that grid place penalty, so he will need to try and improve that time a little bit more. I think he should definitely be able to squeeze out a 1:15. Saw him getting similar pace in the practice session. A lot of bad luck in the qualifying. Probably got another couple of laps to be able to do. And get a nice clean run out there. Pump himself up. Oh, he's just had a disconnect. That's in the last few moments. Doggy Daddy's just left the session. That was a sudden one as well. I know there is a lot of severe storms around. They very well could have lost Dog Daddy due to the storms. We may be able to get a reserve in for the second session if he's without power or internet for any reason. We're about to fit one more lap in. It says just under a minute to go. He just crosses the line. So this will be his final lap. Hey, Weaven, thanks for joining us. And Sharon Gallen. Yes, the driving the Ford, forcing him to drive it. So much of many of the drivers discussed not having the Holden option. It would have been great for the game to still have Holden, so they could at least battle it out. They didn't come on board with it. Oh, look at Marky Mark having a great run now. Qualifies in 5th position, sets up 1:15.227. He's also got this lap. He's got some traffic coming up. Sami's in the pits, but his time is set. Can it be beaten? Can Mark even do it? He may be on fire now. He's had a shocking majority of the qualifying session. Taking damage and then making wall contact towards the back end of those laps. And the frustration getting to him. Oh no, pushed it a little bit too hard. That's just cost him. But qualifying 5th with that grid place penalty is very helpful. And that's just cost Gallen his final lap as well. Billy has a little bit of a comeback on the last laps. He's moved up into 3rd. Oh, and he's just gained it right at the end. He might have already been well off pace and thought he'd go for it. Oh, everyone we're across to is sliding. I think that might have been Simo going for a slide. Might even be Gallen actually doing a burnout. I think it is. But I think he's out of camera shots. We're not going to be able to see his burnout. Rooney qualifies in 8th and then bumps up into 6th on the last lap. I think that's A1 driving for Demon Effects. There we have qualifying complete for the first race of round 3 at Long Beach Street Circuit. Sami continuing that streak, taking pole position yet again. So that's now his 5th consecutive pole position, so congratulations there, Sami. The rest of the grid we have Wira, Philly. DK, Marky Mark with that grid place penalty moves down to 6th position. So we have Rooney step up into position 5. Then we have Gallen, Mickliffe, Demon Effects, Corby, T-Rex, Head Farmer, Coolboy, Simo Simsel, Dirty Monkey, and that unfortunate disconnect for Doggy Daddy last couple of minutes. So very unfortunate. So it means he will be missing the start. Yeah, Black, it won't let you join the session just yet because you've got to be able to get in within the last 3 minutes of the qualifying for it to work. But you should be able to join into the lobby. Unless, of course, Doggy Daddy did actually retire out. But I don't think he did, as we should see him in the session at least. You can see the cars. Well, I should change it back over to the broadcast so you get a full screen. As we see the cars dip down, that's the drivers adjusting their setups. It is full custom setups for the series. They're not forced to use the defaults. And the drivers have been well utilising that, fine-tuning these Falcons down to some phenomenal specs. They're getting great times out of these cars. And pole position starts in a very good lay for the grid. Well ahead. He's going to have to make sure he well and truly gets the jump on Weir here, otherwise they could potentially be side by side for turn 1. And lights are green for the start of race 1 for round 3. A little bit of slip for Philly. That's allowing Rooney to actually slip up along that inside. We're almost 4 wide on approach into the first corners. Barmy dominates that position nice and early. A little bit of lag showing. Oh, there's contact. I think DK misjudged that corner. That's put him straight into the wall. I'm not sure if he just reversed out and made contact with Mick Cliff, or if Mick just had nowhere to go with that. That's some early disaster for those two. Pretty sure DK will be needing to take a car into the pits. It's going to cost him for this race. We've got Wira hang on Sami, showing a few lag skips. Sami is pulling away, and it looks like Rooney's starting to close that gap down in on Wira. That'll be very beneficial to Sami. If he can have Wira dealing with some pressure from behind, that's going to allow him to really focus on ahead. Well, I think Corby's just made some wall contact through the hairpin. It's really slowed him off. Coolboy currently in 8th position. T-Rex honing right down. Looks like he might be contemplating a pass. It'd be a risky move. Didn't have enough speed to be able to get that position. Mickliffe and the head farmer both in the pits at the moment. 14 laps for Larky. And then 28 for the main race. And that will be under lights. Probably see some slightly slower lap times in the second session with the later times. Visibility will be a little bit different for them. Now with Rooney falling back away from Wira. Wira is able to focus on closing that gap to Sami. On the roof. Where's car? This looked like an error by Sami, but pretty sure it was a lag skip. Yeah, some lag skips showing. It looked like where it may have actually contemplated backing off. Be the difference as to why we're seeing Wira drop back slightly. And Head Farmer's copped a post-race time penalty as well for speeding in pits by the looks. Demon Effects now in the pits. And lap cars already catching up. It's only lap 3. This is where Long Beach is very unforgiving. Oh, where is that you, Doggy Daddy? Sami really pulls away on pit straight. Whereas not giving up on him. You can see that car crab walking through. He's copped himself a slowdown penalty. Probably cut the last couple of corners just before the hairpin. Will usually sting for a slowdown there if you cut too much. Our race leaders still dueling it out. Philly starting to catch up to Rooney. Seem slowly closing that gap in. And both appear to be even closing in on our race leaders. Rooney's last lap was a 1:18 over Philly, Sami and Wira in the 1:16s. Some very quick laps. Also Coolboy landing in a 1:16.962. I think that's the Head Farmer. Did see him have to head into the pits. Farmer's going to have to get around, so there's going to be blue flag. There's not going to be too many opportunities to be able to easily let them through. He does actually just pull over to the side. Billy, Gallen and Rooney all make their way through, as well as Marky Mark. Was well-timed position for Head Farmer to move over. Did not slow Sami down. Could have potentially really closed that gap for Wira if he had to wait for traffic, and even then opened up an opportunity for Wira to make a pass. Well, lap 5 of 14. Sami has not had an easy race to stay ahead. Last couple of rounds, ooh, a little bit wide going on that turn. What went on with Wira. He also took a very different line. Could be a little bit of lag between the two. And it is only 1 second penalty that's being given to Rooney. With Philly only sitting 1 second behind him at the moment. He doesn't have to push too hard. He can just tuck in, close that gap just ever so slightly, and then steal it away. Whereas really closing down now. He's got that to less than a half a second. Has been teetering between the half to 0.7. Seemingly to be pulling away after the hairpin. The last lap slightly misjudged it and nearly made contact with that wall. It looks like Demon's car just up ahead. We'll also taking damage and having to head into the pits. He moves over, let the guys through, tucks back in. Our race leaders, Sami and Wura, have had a very lucky run with catching up to lap traffic. Oh, wall contact, not sure if that's a result of lag or not. The amount of pressure that Wura is putting on Sami here could very well force an error. It's not easy to stay this focused around a street circuit, especially when you have a car sitting in your mirror like Wura is. He has not given up on him whatsoever. Ooh, a little bit of lag showing for Wura. Yeah, a couple of lag skips. We have seen disconnects occur with Wura before. Hopefully no technical issues and see him drop out. It would be very disappointing to see after such a great battle. Hopefully that clears up for him. We have Gallon starting to close down in on Philly. Demon lets two through. Oh, Gallon takes a little bit too much curve around the fountain. Mikey Mark having much better luck in the race after qualifying himself a much better time after a shocking first part. Oh, probably jinxed him by saying that as well. Dirty Monkey currently in 7th position. DK Rush in 8th position. It's not bad considering the incident that occurred on lap 1. Surprisingly, I don't think we saw him actually have to go into the pits. We've seen Demon Effects, Mick Cliff have to both head into the pits, and the head farmer also pitting. We're starting to drop away from Sami. We're on lap 9 of 14. His tyres are probably copping a thrashing out there at the moment. Game session time started at 11 AM. Still light cloud conditions. Will be very warm track temperatures. The season is set to spring. We're really caught up a whole second through Sector 2. Billy's still staying within that 1 second margin between himself and Rooney. Gallen also closing down in on Philly. Philly, slight bit of understeer through the hairpin. Sami's just been passed. He's made a mistake at the hairpin. He was a full half a second ahead. That's allowed a pass for Wira to get through. Wira's only got to keep Sami at bay for 4 laps and then he can take the win. That'll be breaking Sami's streak. Doesn't appear that any damage has been taken. Sami now trailing by 0.7. He reined that gap in and sealed back the lead. Time for the final lap. Battle for third position, still trying to close in. These three going to be contesting that podium spot very shortly. Sami dropping back some more pace now. Could be the very possibility that it's coming down to tyre wear. They haven't been taking it easy out there. They've been putting in some very quick laps. Well, let me bring up to see what the fastest lap of the race is. Looks to be a 1:15, and that is by Wirra. A 1:15.942 being set in the race. Sami now dropping 1.5 seconds behind Wirra. With 3 laps remaining in this current momentum. Wirra's almost a second a lap quicker at this stage. Rooney's got Philly sitting right on his tail as he comes through the last couple of corners. Not sure if that was a bit of oversteer on that corner exit by Rooney, or if he was trying to change line early on, try and break that slipstream advantage from Philly. It definitely appears to have worked with the Gallen not taking advantage of being able to be pulled along down pit straight. He was sitting pretty tight, slightly misjudged the fountain. Philly's dropped off, nearly making contact to that wall. I think a lot of drivers may be suffering some tyre wear. DK in 8th position. That's Dirty Monkey just ahead of him. A battle for the 7th position. They've got 8 seconds to catch up to position 6. So that's a good little safety net for Mikey Mark, currently running P6. DK goes out wide. Not sure who that is. Green car behind, whether it's Simo Simsel. Yeah, that is Simo Simsel. We're on lap 13. DK gets alongside. Forces the yield, but almost a switchback move done by Dirty Monkey. Can he get him at the hairpin? Ooh, wall contact by both. Dirty also makes a spin. That's a heavy hit. He's almost just blocking traffic. There's several cars to get around. I think that was T-Rex and Corby. They are both battling for position. That was very close. Could have been race ending for Corby and T-Rex. Very blind corner. When you do jump in to the cockpit of this car, this is where it all went. Turning around here to suddenly find a car parked right there. It is very hard to avoid. Well done with Dirty there, keeping that car in a safe position. Look at Wirra on the final lap, leading now by 2 seconds ahead of Sami. This will be the end to Sami's streak if Wirra can hold on for this lap. Sami has closed the gap in by 0.6. Sami's still teetering around that mark. There's not too many opportunities here to make a pass. However, a mistake here by Wirra, which is how he took the opportunity to pass Sami. All Wira's going to do is just play defensive. Block the line. Play very cautious here. A slip here will have him done. Almost does it. Gets under that throttle. It's almost going to be side by side going along the finish line. Wira crosses the line, breaking Sami's streak, takes top of the podium. Victory for Wira in race 1 of round 3. Congratulations. Sami in position 2. Rooney in position 3. And he's now got 3 seconds away from position 4. So that's going to secure his spot on the podium for race 1 tonight. So well done, Rooney. Gallen crosses the line in 4th position. Billy in 5th. Marky Mark just chucks in front of Mick Cliff. It's a lap down. Crossing line in 6th position. Well done, Mark. DK, a great comeback considering the incident on turn 1. That is very lucky indeed. Got to be happy with position 7, with how wrong it was going into that first lap and being taken straight to the back of the pack. Corby crosses in 8th position. T-Rex in 9th. Dirty Monkey in 10th. Schoolboy in 11th position. Then we have a conclusion of race 1 for round 3 of the Pagnian Imports V8 Supercar Championship, with Wira de Jury 81 taking the checkers and securing victory for the first race tonight, and then breaking Sami's streak. I'm pretty sure he maintained the fastest lap bonus points, so an extra 10 points going to Wira, setting a 1:15.94, a very quick lap. So congratulations. Then the rest of the podium, we have Sami in position 2, Rooney in position 3, and then we have Gallen, Philly, Mark, DK, Corby, T-Rex, Dirty Monkey, Coolboy, Demon Effects, Mick Cliff, Head Farmer, and Simo Simzel. Fortunately, Doggy Daddy disconnecting at the end of the qualifying, so missing out on that first race. So we'll be going over to have a short break and then heading into session 2, when we've got 15 minutes of qualifying, and then it is a nighttime qualifier. And then we do have the main race, which is 28 laps with a mandatory pit requirement, and we will be having it all under light, so it's going to be visually spectacular, and with how tight these guys are racing out there, it's going to be a fantastic race. So do stay tuned. We'll be back very shortly with the next session. And welcome back for session 2 of round 3 of the Pagnian Imports V8 Supercar Championship. Tonight we are at Long Beach Street Circuit, so in the USA. And we are now going under lights. We saw Wira take the victory in race 1. He has now actually broken Sami's winning streak. So Sami was looking pretty good for most of the race with maintaining that, and even with Wira taking the fastest lap bonus points. So well done to Wira there. Can he do the same in this session for tonight? That's much more different now that we're under lights. Track temperatures very much more different. And we've got Doggy Daddy back in. Hopefully no technical issues for him. We're parked up at the moment. Hopefully we see all 16 drivers make it to the grid. No disconnects in those last moments. And well done to Balaki, who did actually jump in to take up the spot. And then to allow Doggy Daddy back in to finish the next race after his unfortunate disconnect. That's all part of the great sportsmanship that we see from many of our members with Apex eSports League, so I'm very proud of all of that. We saw Wira lay down a very quick lap time. Ooh, a little bit of lag showing for him at the moment. Can usually take a lap for games to usually sync up. The track's going to look very different to the drivers as well. They're going to have to take good memory of all their brake markers. There's all sorts of shadows, and the likes can definitely really put you off your line. That was a very tight line by Gallen. Flat stick through those first couple of corners. Don't forget, if you are just joining us for the stream, do hit that follow button. Appreciate how quickly Apex eSports League is growing. Growing above the 170 follower mark, so that's pretty exciting. Not too long ago, we were hunting down our 160 mark. Oh, there's a... On my screen, there was a traffic cone in the middle of the track. Oh, 2 grid place penalties just being given to Doggy Daddy for speeding in pit lane. He's going to be cautious not to cop himself the DQ. Further speeding in pit lane. Could potentially see a DQ. That means you would have to exit the session and come back in. And that does actually take away time from the session. There's only 12 minutes. Oh, a big punt. That's Sami, I think. It may have been Doggy Daddy. Make contact with Philly. Sami bringing that car back in. Expecting to see slightly slower times out there. However, a 1:14.782, and the drivers were mentioning in the lobby before they were seeing some very low 1:14s being done in the practice sessions. These guys can still get more out of these cars, and what we've seen them do tonight already is absolutely breathtaking with how hard they have pushed these things around this track. And it leaves no room for error. A little bit slippery. Those track temps are going to be quite low. It's clear conditions. However, the in-game time did start at 6 PM, and then it will progress at ×2 rates, 15 minutes we'll see 30 minutes progress, so it's going to see it cool off even more. And then the race will start at 8 PM. Army holding pole position at this stage. Ed Farmer currently qualifying in 13th. I'll jump on board for a lap with someone in a moment. Cliff on for a very quick lap. I think he may have just scraped that wall. He's a little bit offline. Oh, he's definitely made contact with that one. Sparks fly. And again, hasn't invalidated his lap. Getting effects. Moves out around from the head farmer of looks of that car. Could even be Marky Mark actually. That is lap time invalidated. Jump on board with team and hopefully we don't jinx him. Interestingly, taking a amount of fuel, that's disqualified him in the third position. We're going to have a good advantage for a slipstream here. I think that's Doggy Daddy just ahead there. Not going to slow him down too much. A little bit of lag showing between. That's put him off. And of course, the commentator's curse for jumping on board. You can see just how lovely the track looks. All the lighting around. Great track under lights. You see some usually weird brights on the track. You usually will see some strange shadows on the track. Where a car is usually stopped for a moment, it will actually keep the shadow of the car. Bit of a scrape. Where is just qualified just under half a second away from Sami. Really opting for some slightly heavier fuel load as well. Probably try to compensate just for those lower track temps. Drivers were definitely fighting with tyre wear by the end of the sprint race. We should see tyre wear last out a little bit longer with the cooler track temps. However, it's going to be probably too cool to be able to go with the harder compound slick. Can easily get enough grip out of the hards when there is significant track temp. So let's see, a little bit slippery out there. Army not impressed with that lap. Brings his car back in. And we're a steel pole. Qualified at 1:14.907. For those of you joining us on the stream, don't forget to jump in and use the chat, say hello. Let us know who you think is going to take the pole, will take the victory. You're here to cheer on. There's also sound effects controls down underneath the stream, so you can cheer, applaud, boo, all sorts of things. Oh, Philly, broad again. Gets that car up on two wheels and slams it into the wall. There's 6 minutes remaining, so we're just past the halfway mark for qualifying. We're currently qualifying third position. Gallon qualifying in fourth. The head farmer qualifying in 5th position for 1:15.824. That's a very nice time. Not sure if that's Wira. That's Wira tucking in behind, trying to get some huge amount of heat into those tyres. It's going to take a few laps to really get them up to temp in these night conditions. Lucky pole Samian race win for Wira. So a repeat of race 1 is predicted by Balaki. It will all come down to pit strategy in the end, ensuring that they have their correct pit strategy set. Now I've seen drivers have to come back in as they didn't get their tyres changed out. Corby qualifies in the 5th position. Demon Effects in a 6th. BK Rush is coming out for another lap. He's currently qualifying in 11th position. Instead of 1:16.140. Boy, showing a bit of damage at the moment. Oh, Mick Cliff's just been turned around along that back straight. He's brought that car back in. It's got enough time to be able to get that car back out on track and get a couple more laps in. They're not going to be the greatest, as it is probably taking at least 3 to 4 laps to get the tyres up to temp. That's why drivers are probably going for that slightly higher fuel load just to compensate for those extra few laps being out on track. And as soon as a mistake's made and they put that car into the wall and return it back to the pits, they have to repeat that process again, and it is very costly. Looks like we're absolutely fanging up alongside of Smo Simsel. No, it might be Philly actually. He had a very good run. He seems to be on a flying lap. Yeah, it is a shame Balaki for just seeing out on track down the lights. It's a nice track. We always do come back to this one. It is a big favourite track of mine. We'll be definitely revisiting under lights the V8s and even other cars as well. Oh, very slippery for Philly. That's done it for him for this qualifying. I think Samo may have made some contact to him getting around. There was a bit of sparks. Doggy Daddy currently parked up in the pits. Dirty Monkey also. There's only 2 minutes remaining of qualifying. Not going to leave any opportunity for them to get out and get another qualifying time in. Considering we've got the cooler track conditions. Oh, that's done it for Wira. That's cost him on the last lap. Probably a quick return. Well, actually, he might have enough time. Didn't take any damage. Demon Effects has just had his lap time invalidated. Not sure if he's taken any damage or if he's just cut corner. But it very well could invalidate this lap as well. That means he's going to have to keep this lap clean. And since we didn't take any damage, it means he's got a car out there with hot tyres. He's only got 3.1 litres of fuel. That car is going to be very slippery out there, especially if those tyres aren't up to temp. But this car is going to absolutely want to fly with that light of a fuel load. Lap time doesn't improve him. This will be his last opportunity to improve. He's only got to shave a small amount off to take position 2, and that will match his qualifying position from race 1 tonight. Oh, he's up on 2 wheels. Wall contact. That car was way too light on fuel. That's definitely cost him an opportunity to steal pole position away. 5 seconds remaining. A little bit of wall contact by Rooney on that last corner. Qualifying is complete. This will be the final lap. Rooney doesn't improve that time. He's still in 5th position and can be bumped down. Marky Mark completes his last lap. He's qualified in 6th. There's 70 seconds remaining to get these last laps done. Well, that car's very light, but he gets that car under control. That was great throttle response out of the corner. Will this improve? He's got 1:15.328 to beat. He does and improves. That moves him up into 7th position. We've only got Marky Mark and Gallon left out there. I think that's AI driving that. I think we're off camera for Gallon's burnout again. We have to do a chase for burnout, but I don't think we're getting any smoke, strangely enough. See if we can get actual. There we go. Now we got him. A little bit of pre-race entertainment courtesy of Gallon. And then we have qualifying now complete. And that is qualifying for the final race of round 3. Sami takes pole position again. Philly Manili qualifying in 2nd place and 3rd. Then we have the rest of the grid. Rooney, Demon, Marky Mark, Corby, Mickliffe, Gallon, Head Farmer, DK, T-Rex, Simo, Simsel, Coolboy, Dirty Monkey, and Doggy Daddy, who's got 2 grid place penalties. Very unfortunate for him to have copped those. Did qualify in 16th, so it hasn't actually affected him on that. At least it didn't okay with a DQ. Over to the grid now. The drivers get ready for the main race. There's a big 120 points up for grabs for a win here. Balaki calling the pole with Sami. Will his prediction be accurate with Wera taking another win tonight? You can see it has gotten darker now. All those braking markers are going to appear a little bit different, especially with all the cars nice and close to each other. Going to make it a little bit more difficult to try and spot those markers, especially with all the shadows it'll be casting. And it is a mandatory pit requirement for race 2. And drivers will definitely be needing to swap out for tyres. They're not going to be able to make a set of softs last. Probably going to be likely that it's going to be too cool to run the hard tyres. So will there be some drivers out there that gamble with it, or even take a mix of the two? There we go, all the drivers have hit the ready button. About to go green for the last race of round 3. And we're away. Look at Rooney dart right up the inside between Philly and Sami, almost squeezing him out. Very aggressive move. Oh, that's Demon Effects. He's just made contact. That's huge chaos going. Gallen's now being involved in it as well. That's complete carnage from that back half down. Several cars are taking huge damage. Head Farmer, oh, Doggy Daddy's really struggling. Taking quite a good hit. Quite sure what went on there. We have Sami maintaining the lead. We've got Philly in position 2. Whereas dropped down into position 9. Looks like he's escaped any damage. I think there's a little bit of wall contact at the back. DK's car's not looking too great. But we see some of these drivers peel into the pits. It's going to be very unfortunate to have to pit in on lap 1. Drivers opting to stay out. Oh, someone's front or rear bar on the last corner. I think there may have been a little bit of contact. Corby, you can just see in the background, cutting that corner, scrapes the wall, sparks go flying. And he's quickly closing in on Philly. It's going to be good for Sami. Philly can keep Corby at bay for a little while and try and further his lead. He's already put 1.3 seconds on the race lead, and it's lap 2. There's a battle going on in the midfield. Hey Killer, thanks for joining us. Yeah, this track does look great at night. And here we go, we're seeing several in. Head Farmer's already been in the pit. Cool Boy took a fair bit of damage as well. Gallen 350 took a massive hit. Doggy Daddy also well beat up. A lot of carnage going on down pit straight on the first lap. So it means they're already seeing lap traffic. I think that's Head Farmer that they've just had to lap through. Billy hasn't had Corby let up on him. Billy started to see a little bit of understeer coming through that corner. He did actually almost have the car lift up on the 2 wheels. There's a little bit too much pace with these cooler track temps. The tyres not quite sticky enough. And if the drivers have opted for those hard compounds, haven't adjusted camber to suit it, they could very well see the cars wanting to lift a little bit so they can really try and put some high temps into those tyres. Yeah, we even do need a safety car for this. That may be something we see when it comes to Project Cars 4. They are promising it'll be quite a spectacular game. Billy's just been passed by Corby. And quite quickly, I think he might have got him after the hairpin and got him down pit straight. You can still see Philly around that corner, car really rolling to the left. And we have Corby to try and catch up 2-second gap between himself and the race leader Sami. Sami's needing to work to defend his championship points. Doesn't need to secure a victory. He's finishing up that top end. That's coming into round 3. He has 500 points and a massive lead. with Wirra taking victory in race 1 tonight and not making it to the first 2 rounds. Having Wirra finish ahead of him, not at a detriment to him at all for the championship. Yeah, the Killer, they did actually mention about Project Cars 4. It wasn't too long after all the lashback they got for Project Cars 3. They promised that they would actually return it to be the most realistic sim ever. And Mick Cliff's had a spin. We can't even see where he is. He's off camera here. Oh, and he's just, I think he's reversed out into T-Rex, made contact. He's going to have to try and get that car around. He's in a bad position. He's got 20 seconds before Simo Simsel. Car's looking well beat up. We're in 7th position. Oh, I think it's T-Rex and Shuhurdy's at the back that's just gone. It might be Mick Cliff, you know. May have been Cool Boy. I'll just take straight into that tyre wall. Army's starting to put a good gap out. We're seeing some weird times on the board on my screen for the moment anyway. It's saying he's minute 10 ahead. But he's actually furthered his gap out from Corby by 3.3 seconds. Billy Manilli in 3rd position. Still having trouble with that same corner. A lot of understeer. Making some more contact. May need to make some adjustments to the anti-roll bar to the car on the fly. Putting the wall, that car is definitely understeering something fierce. The weight distribution really seeming to play havoc with him at the moment. We've got Marky Mark and Demon Effects battling it out for 5th position. A race leader, Sami, well and truly pulling out ahead. He's got almost a 5-second lead now. Marky Mark having some huge pace out there, setting a 1:16.9. The only other quickest time out there for that lap done on lap 7 is Sami with 1:16.320. He's only 8 seconds behind. We'll see Mark potentially make his way up through the rungs. Billy and Rooney well within his reach within the next couple of laps. Especially Philly car seeming to struggle at the moment. Yeah, Killer, if you do jump on Google and look up some of the stuff that the developers have mentioned about the Project Cars 4 game, it does sound spectacular what they're doing. It'll even be to the point that debris on the side of the track can be blown on, so leaves that may be on the side of the track as you drive past could actually blow up and land on the track and cause issues. So it's going to be ultra realistic. Corby makes a mistake, ends up putting it into the wall, so he's opting to have to go in and pit. It'll be tough to try and last out remaining 20 laps without having to head back into the pits again. That's given a lot more breathing space for Sami. He's now got a 7-second lead. Rooney is starting to come up. We're copping it with the spam bots tonight in the Twitch chat. Pagnian still hanging on to third position. Oh, Philly spins on turn 10. Just for the final corner. That was a pretty hefty hit to that front right. Is that car going to be steering straight? If it is, he can stay out there. He's only lost a position. We have Jeeman now up in third. 3 seconds away from Rooney. Rooney's putting down some pretty good pace at the moment. He's half a second quicker than Demon's last lap. We misjudged that corner. Would have understeered going out towards that wall. And again, he's misjudged that corner. Locked the brake. Ran wide. Just gets back out before Philly gets around. Oh, we've had someone else, I think it was Marky Mark, also making the same mistake. Missing that corner. This is where, especially if you've got some damage to the front, that car is definitely not steering straight for him. He's taken a very strong hit to that front right wheel. That car's all over the place. That'll be seeing him taking a trip down pit lane. I think that's Weir in behind him as well. He's going to be very cautious, as we're going to see Mark try and peel off into the pits. Very risky place, being on that inside line. You got to really play cautious. If you go to make a pass, you could potentially be seeing the cars actually deciding to try and veer across into pit lane, cause an incident. Rooney gets around Philly side by side. Philly's car seeming to have a little bit of steering damage. Rooney appears to have a slight amount to that front left. It's not appearing to affect the car too much. Philly's still getting a lot of pace. Things that really close that gap down that back straight. With our drivers reaching close to the halfway point, if they've got any damage, this is where they should be contemplating whatever they head in. We've had someone retire out. Can't see who we may be missing on the list. We have Sami, our race leader, well out in front now. 18.5 second lead and climbing. Rooney sitting in position 2. Billy Manili in third. Mickliffe in fourth position. Doing well considering he did take quite a big hit early on. If he hasn't been in and pit, he's still going to be in for a very good shot at a strong finish for race 2. Timo Simsel up in 5th position. DK in 6th. Corby re-enters the race after pitting in. Entering at P7. Demon Effects not too far behind. He's in 8th position. Timo and Corby battling it out. Demon Effects and I think Martin Knox, I know he's a little bit behind. Demon Effects quickly closing in on the 2 as well. That's Dirty Monkey's car the back, or have we lost Dirty? Yeah, it looks like Dirty Monkey's retired. That's who we are missing. That's Sami. Even Sami's car showing some damage. A little bit of a slip. Makes contact with a lap car. And that was the exact scenario I was mentioning where it becomes risky. The blue flag situation. Having to allow through, but he was actually Simo looking to come into the pits. And Sami taking the line when he's just missed his stop as well. He goes for repairs and tyres. He's got 19 seconds to catch up to Sami. Sami's looking in a very good position. Billy in the pits now. And then he had that steering issues that he's probably seeing. That was probably furthering his understeer issue with the car already. Sure if it was a very different setup that he was running, over just a much heavier load of fuel, not being very friendly to the setup. And we've reached the halfway point now, lap 14 of 28. Sami has led for all 14 laps. Drivers were mentioning tyres were very well done by this point in the sprint race. We could potentially see drivers heading to pits now as well. Rennie having just pit. I'm actually seeing damage to Sami's car, but the broadcast isn't actually showing that, so that's actually a result of lag. Oh, and there's a spin in the back there. Looks like it was Simo on the stream. We are seeing two headlights. I'm only seeing the front right. The front left is actually showing a fair bit of damage. I'm seeing a fair few skips. Very lengthy pit for Rooney. I'm not sure if he did go for a pit. I think Simo has taken some damage again. We've just lost another driver. Steven effects after having pit enters the race in position 4. He's sitting very close behind Corby. He's also been in and served his mandatory pit requirement. He's now racing for position. Just ahead of him is DK. I do believe he needs to go in and pit. And Sami is tempting fate out there with keeping that car on board. Not heading into the pits, especially with a solid 1 minute lead at this stage. They're going to try and make these tyres last as long as possible. And here it comes, bringing it in now on lap 15. Who else has dropped out here? Retiring. Yeah, Nick Cliff quickly catching up to T-Rex. Got Demon and Corby both still trying to fight for position 3. DK just ahead of them. I think it's the Headhunter. That's who has retired out. I am not seeing a disconnect at all. I usually bring up the map and we'll see if they have left the session. Dirty Monkey and Head Farmer both retiring. Casualties to the Long Beach Street circuit. DK loses that position to Corby, but I'm sure DK does still need to pit. He's probably being very cautious out there with the car at the moment. It could be very slippery. Definitely not holding up to the pace that we're seeing from Demon. Oh, he's gone in for a spin. That's a huge hit. We just had Coolboy follow him as well. That's a huge hit. Coolboy come around a blind corner straight into DK. Needs a lap down as well. Bad luck for DK, but he's still had a great finish in the end. That's what makes Long Beach such a fantastic track. Anything can happen. Army having a massive lead to the race. There's 1 minute, sorry, it was showing a lot more. It was showing 1 minute 19. It is actually 13 seconds. Did have a 1 minute lead before his pit stop. With Corby and Demon Effects having already pit, if these cars can last the distance for the remainder of the race, they could slowly bring that gap in. It's quite interesting just to see why some of these pit stops took a little bit longer. The DK now into the pits, getting some repairs done at the moment. Rooney not too far behind, position 2 and 3. 3 seconds to catch up and he'll be on the tail of Demon. Awesome traffic coming out. That's DK coming out of the pits. Creating a hazard for Rooney, but he gets through nice and clean. That sees DK drop down into position 10. Doggy Daddy into the pits. As you can see, one of the retired cars parked up in pit lane. Oh, someone's just turned around. I think it was Philly's car. Corby missed the corner. He just ran through. That's caught out several drivers. I don't think it's been from a brake lockup. This track is not just physically tiring to race around, but also mentally. It is a very tight technical track and very unforgiving. And Sami showing some damage. Probably why he lost that 1 second lead. after pitting in. He's probably taken some damage after that. The Demon Effects in position 2 after Corby's mistake. Rooney in position 3. Philly in P4. We're on lap 19 of 28. Only 9 laps remain. Corby's car not steering too nicely. It's a little bit of war contact. He's got a heavily damaged car just up ahead. That looks to be Cool Boy's car. The car's taken a lot of front end damage. Oh, he's turned around at a bad spot here. This could be interesting. Camera's gone all sorts of crazy. He's just reversed out into the driving line. Oh, he's gone forward into someone. I think he's just made contact with someone. Having trouble trying to get that car around. I think maybe a couple of contacts to cars. I think Doggy Daddy got caught up into that. That's probably going to cost him some incident points there, most likely. Oh, and then also moving over and taking contact to that green car. I think that was Gallant. To trying to deal with that heavily damaged car. Gallant parked up. Not sure if he's taken critical damage. Looks like Cool Boy's car is not in a drivable state at this stage. The Gallant's got that car back around and on track again. No, he's still parked up. Would be definitely well frustrated at this point. With a lapped car ending up blocking him in the racing line. We have Wera starting to close down in on Corby. Gallant's car still parked up. Not sure if Gallant's car is unable to turn. Doing a battle with Mark sitting right on his tail, fighting for position 7. Mark a little bit slippery out of that corner. That gives Mick a good run down the straight. Just squeezes in front to get that track position, but goes out rather wide, turning back in, narrowly avoiding contact with the front of Mark's car. I think he's a little too quick through here, but he pulls it up in time. Gets around and carries that momentum. Wera and Corby. Ooh, a little bit slippery. And started to spool up on Wera. Gallant's car still parked up, so we're seeing the yellow square. That's a local yellow caution being shown for that section of the track. Gallant not retiring out. That car seems to be actually stuck. Tommy still holding only a 17-second lead. There's 5 laps remaining. Cool Boy disconnecting. A fair bit of chaos on that lap with several cars. We're still trying to take down Corby. Where slightly misjudges that corner, loses that pace, scraping the wall. He is closing some huge pace. Petty Rex and Simo battling it out, and that looks like Sami just coming in behind as well. Oh, they are sitting very tight. No room for error, and Sami needs to try and get around. Blue flag shown. And the two were racing out. They're down 12 cars. Only 4 laps remain. Tommy and Marky Mark side by side down pit straight. That puts Sami slightly off pace. He's only got to survive for 3 laps out there. He's got 14-second lead over Demon Effects. Map so I can see if there's had any further disconnects. We're only down to 12 cars. Long Beach over a endurance race, definitely a race of attrition. Sami just scrapes around the hairpin. Got a nice safety net of 14 seconds, now pushed out to 15 seconds. There's going to be a fight for position 2. We've only 2 laps remaining. Rooney sitting only 1 second away from Demon Effects. Billy in 4th position. He's not going to let up on Demon. He's going to make him work for it. All scrapes the wall. He's really trying to push this car. And they could definitely be seeing that these tyres are at the very worn end. Did see them pit in, I think it's just slightly before the halfway mark. On lap 27, Rooney and Demon still at it. Ooh, a little bit loose. Not fuel loads, it's possibly tyre wear going on for these two. Demon seems to be really put the traction down. And he managed to catch up. Well, Simsel, I think, off to the side. I think he misjudged the approach into the first corner. I But he did move well out of the way to let the race traffic through. Demon Effects side by side. Rooney makes the pass down the back straight. They're not out of it yet though. We should be seeing Sammy Cross, yes, for the final lap. That's lap 28. Drivers are going to be very fatigued at this point. It's been a very long, grueling 28 laps. And Rooney and Demon are going to battle it out for the final lap. It really seems like Demon is actually dropping off a fair bit of speed. Pagnian coming up to some lap traffic. I think that was Corby. He just managed to get around. Sami's had a fantastic race, leading for all 28 laps. And we get Demon starting to drop off a couple of seconds away from Rooney. And here comes Sami crossing the line, taking the checkers for race 2. That will definitely help with the championship lead. A nice gap over position 2. That's 18-second lead. So having a bit of fun sliding across the finish line. Dean Effects on the podium, position 2. Well done. Rooney in position 3, also doing a handbrake across the finish line. No, that's I think it was Simo who was doing that just then. Billy catching up to Rooney in the end. And crosses the line in 5th. Sorry, in 4th position, Philly. And that is Wera coming up in P5. There's 45 seconds remaining to get last laps done. We should just have enough time to see Mick cross the line, then we'll see the results. Flash of the lights, he's happy to finish the race. That's position 6. Probably in position 7. I think he's within reach of finishing the lap. I think he's dealing with a wounded car as well. We'll get to see him cross the line. Oh, just rolls across as it happened. Dirty Monkey actually disconnecting in the long run. There we have the results for race 2 of round 3 of the Pagnian Imports V8 Supercar Championship. Our championship leader Sami taking victory, and also on the podium is Demon Effects in position 2 and Rooney 9915 in position 3. So congratulations to those guys. And the rest of the standings, we have Philly Manilli, Wira Dejuri, McCliff, Corby, Marky Mark, DK, Rush, T-Rex, Simo Simsel, Gallon 350, and Doggy Daddy in 13th position. And then he did retire on lap 17, and then Gallon taking that heavy damage on lap 18, very unfortunately 10 laps out. And then a couple who have left the session losing out on the big points. So we'll be having Sami, Demon and Rooney join us in a moment. I will be throwing them into the party, so if you got any comments to throw to them, do throw it in the chat. I can relay it to them. Does take a moment to all into the party. We should see them join in just a moment. And we've got Rooney joining in. Congratulations on P3, Rooney.
Yeah, thank you. It's a good race.
Good little battle between you and Demon towards that back end.
Yeah, I blew it. Ran wide.
Yeah.
No, it was a good racing though.
Yeah, it was good. Yeah, congrats Demon, position 2. Saying it was a great little battle between you and Rooney in those last few laps. We got Demon?
No, he's not in yet, I think.
Oh, not even. Oh, congratulations, Sami, on the win.
Thanks, JT. It was a tough one.
It was, and led for the full 28 laps, and I think you get, no, not the fastest lap.
No, not
so
quite.
I think we're taking that at 1:14.
Yeah, so that's an awesome lap for race pace, that's for sure.
Yeah, especially in the cooler conditions as well.
Yeah, I've seen Rooney had a great launch at the start. I just seen him come out from nowhere.
Yeah, darting up in between everyone, taking a couple of positions at the start was quite an ambitious move, and it paid off.
I think I would have got to the front if I didn't get squished, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was a good race. It was very tough on the tyres though.
Yeah.
Yeah, and especially for the couple we saw pitting in quite early, and saw you and Sami sort of holding out a little bit longer, trying to get as much out of the rubber as you could. I think it was until about lap 16, 17 pitting in.
Yeah, I tried to stretch it out as much as I could. I mean, just had that buffer, I suppose, to help me sort of just take it a little bit easier, just in case. I thought, well, if one of the other guys jumps me or gets the undercut, at least I've got probably better tyres at the end. So
yeah, and definitely paid off. So great victory. Yeah. And Demon's just joined us. Congrats on P2, Demon.
Yeah, thank you. Sorry I was late.
That's all right.
I was just chatting to the boys about the race, and I forgot. Party chat. Yeah. So no, all good. That race I had to pit a bit earlier than I'd like to because I had damage. So I went in on lap 11, and by the end I had no tyres. Rooney caught me well, so I said to him, "I'm going to let you go because I'm not going to fight you and put it in the wall." So I did, and unfortunately he did the same. So yeah. Anyway. I would like to have hung out with my tyres a bit longer, but it was all good.
Yeah, so it was a good battle between you two for those last few laps. We were enjoying it a fair bit.
Yeah, he had the pace on me there at the end for sure.
Yeah.
That's a good race.
But it's a spectacular race from all of you. Done well. Congratulations on the podium. And
well done, Rooney. Damon.
Seeing at Dubai next week.
Yep.
Yeah, it's a good track, Dubai. I like that.
Yeah.
Anyway, thanks JT, thanks Sami.
Yep.
Well done, Rooney.
Yeah.
All right.
Well done, guys. Yeah, thanks, JT. Another
See
good
you
night.
next week.
Cheers, mate.
Yeah.
And then we have our podium finishers with Sami taking victory, Demon FX taking second, and Rooney taking third place. And as I was mentioning, next week we are up for round 4, so we'll be back again 7:30 p.m. Australian Eastern Daylight Time for round 4, and that is at Dubai Autodrome, and that's going to be a great track with the V8 Supercars. So do hit that follow button if you haven't done so already, and then you'll be notified when we go live, and we'll be also back for round 4 of the Pagnian Imports Super 2 series on iRacing on Monday. So plenty of V8 action for hitting that follow button. So thanks for tuning in. I hope to see you trackside next time.